there hasn't been much up in October. In fact, Bitcoin is on track for its worst month in October in 7 years. But there are 3 bullish catalysts on the horizon. Between now and the end of the year, the White House confirms that there's a good chance that the crypto structure market bill will pass. And there's analysts out there breaking down charts showing that gold coin is paving the way like a fullback on a power in the I formation. And the largest catalyst that no one's talking about, a $7 trillion wave of capital. Today, we're going to focus on what happens when that $7 trillion of capital flows into Bitcoin. And as always, we're going to keep it spicy. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Let's go. Although things feel relatively good with Bitcoin at 111K right now, Bitcoin has been in a choppy malaise. But billionaire Mike Novogratz says that he believes that there's a catalyst on the horizon.
In the crypto story, our government continues to spend way more money than they should. And I think as long as the debasement of fiat currencies goes on, crypto is going to be seen and Bitcoin is going to be seen. But, we're in a rangy, softer range right now. And I don't see what changes that. There's a bill in DC that needs to get passed, hopefully in the next 6 weeks. If that does, I think that'll give crypto a real jolt to the upside. That, and as we get closer, every day we wake up is one day closer to the Fed governor transition. And, my base case is still we get a much more dovish, malleable Fed governor than we've had in the past.
This is not only echoed by him, but others on Capitol Hill, like David Sachs, the crypto czar himself. And not only David Sachs, but others like Cynthia Lummis and Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase.
Yeah, well, we had great meetings with the Democrats in the Senate and on the Republican side today. And the good news is that there's strong bipartisan support and will to get this market structure legislation done. It's important for America, and the 50 million Americans who've used crypto want to see it get done. And so one date we heard floated was let's try to get this markup done before Thanksgiving. I think that there's 90% of the issues are already aligned on and agreed, and there's draft text going back and forth, a lot of great cross-functional collaboration happening. That last 10% are the remaining issues, and everyone committed to get in the room together and work it out, and hopefully we'll see some draft text or get it out of committee by Thanksgiving.
But the second catalyst for Bitcoin between now and the end of the year isn't political, it's analytical. Bitcoin follows gold. Check out this chart produced by Smithson With. He has 2 plots on the top and the bottom of the chart for both Bitcoin and gold, showing when they're overvalued and undervalued. He's showing the 200-day moving average, bear markets, and bull markets for each asset class. But one of the interesting things that he did is he connected the arrows from when gold's bull market ends to when Bitcoin's bull market begins. And he also shows the approximate lag between those 2 scenarios. And what you see is what we talk about on the show all the time. When gold runs, Bitcoin sprints. And he's not the only analyst who believes this. And he's joined by some of the greatest minds out there, like Tom Lee, in his recent podcast with Anthony Pompliano.
Gold moves first, and then Bitcoin catches up. Mm-hmm. So I think that there is going to be the network value of gold just went up by a lot. And so let's say gold settles at 5,000. Mm-hmm. That puts fair value of Bitcoin, like 1.6 to 2 million if it matches gold's network value. Mm-hmm. So I think it's actually helping Bitcoin's future terminal price.
So you think that if gold settles at 5,000, Bitcoin, you take the gold market cap divided by the number of Bitcoin, then you get 1.6 to $2 million per coin. What's the time frame for us to get there?
Well, I can see that in 5 years for Bitcoin. So I think
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
That'd
Bitcoin. Yeah, I think Bitcoin doesn't get capped by gold. It actually gets pulled up by gold. Mm-hmm. And because it's growing the monetary base, right?
Mm-hmm. So gold is not competitive to Bitcoin in his view. The value of gold is relative to the actual value of Bitcoin. So when the value of gold increases, it increases the floor of Bitcoin, especially in the minds of institutions who are now recommending that you should have a bit of gold and a bit of Bitcoin in your portfolio. So when the price of gold rises from 30 trillion to 35 trillion, 40 trillion, well, that increases the terminal value of Bitcoin in the long term. And he believes that this isn't the only bullish catalyst. Listen to what Tom Lee thinks is bullish between now and the end of the year.
This year, gold's up 60-ish%, Bitcoin's up 18 to 20% depending on the day. Do you think that on December 31st of 2025, we'll actually look back and could Bitcoin have outperformed gold in 2025, even though it has such a big lead right now?
Yeah, we have a lot of time. We have 10 weeks. As you know, Bitcoin makes its move in 10 days a year. So are Bitcoin's best days in the fourth quarter? Probably, because we have catalysts, the Fed's easing. We have a shutdown that's been risk off. We have China-US tensions that, look, every time there's a headline on China, like Bitcoin takes a gut punch, right? Because it is money flows and deleveraging. So that goes away. We have seasonality that favors stocks moving up, and stocks moving helps Bitcoin. So to me, the chances of Bitcoin having a huge fourth quarter are really high. And not all of these would be tailwinds for gold.
At the end of this year, I believe that Bitcoin will come in clutch, like Steph coming in clutch at the end of the game versus the Nuggets last night. This dude is timeless.
The Tom Brady GOAT of basketball. If he's not in your rep,
2,000 years later.
All right, enough sports. On to the largest catalyst for Bitcoin between now and the end of the year that nobody's talking about. It's quite frankly the largest pot of money in the world right now that isn't currently allocated to growth assets. And that is the $7.4 trillion parked in money market funds. This capital isn't in stocks, it isn't in gold, it isn't in real estate. It's collecting a 4 to 5% premium from United States treasuries right now. And so as the Fed begins to lower rates, well, this money isn't going to sit idle. It's going to look for growth assets to invest in. It's going to kick off one of the largest reallocation events in the history of finance. When the Fed cuts rates, it's going to flow into the Mag 7 stocks that now have AI built into the growth trajectory. And when the NASDAQ runs, when the S&P 500 runs, well, that's bullish for Bitcoin. More liquidity is going to flow into the system and algos are going to algo. When the Fed cuts rates, well, money's going to try to flow back into real estate. But I think it's not going to flow into real estate as much as it has in the past. And here's why. Real estate is facing a crisis moment of unaffordability. The people who are able to buy homes are unable to afford homes, and their income isn't rising as fast as rental rates or property taxes and property expenses for owners. Therefore, the return profile for real estate isn't as good as it was before. New homes are unaffordable for the bottom of the market, and boomers ain't selling their homes because that's where their equity lies. And people who are in the middle parts of their lives with families like me aren't trading their low interest rates from COVID to trade down in terms of homes because the interest rates are still higher than when they were in COVID. So this means real estate's not likely to catch a major bid like it has in the past. So what stands to benefit? Well, we've already seen assets flow into gold as there's somehow been a new bidder or new buyer in the gold market. I think these assets are going to flow into Bitcoin and crypto at large. An analyst on Twitter, Shanaka Pereira, breaks this down. In 1998, $1.3 trillion of money market funds flowed into the tech bubble when the Fed cut rates. In 2003, it was $2.1 trillion, which flowed into the housing market. In 2009, it was $3.8 trillion in money market funds, which funded the everything rally, where everything went up and everyone got wealthy. In 2025, now that rate is almost doubled. There's $7.4 trillion in money market funds. So when the Fed cuts rates, where do you think the new beneficiaries are going to be? What are the new asset classes that are going to get bid up? In his mind, if 5% or 370 billion rotates into Bitcoin, we will see prices of 280K Bitcoin to 350K Bitcoin. If 10% rotates, well, we'll see 550K Bitcoin to 700K Bitcoin. If 15% rotates, well, we're going to see $1 million coin and we're going straight to the moon. And when that happens, you're not going to want to sell your Bitcoin. Yeah, and when that happens, we might see a frenzy that we haven't seen in any past cycle, because now we have the institutions and the big boys playing. But before we go any further in our episode, let's thank our sponsors. Ledn, the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018. They've issued over $9 billion worth of loans to tens of thousands of customers across the world, and have done so in a fast, smooth, simple, and transparent manner, which is why they have over 1,000 five-star customer reviews. Ledn does not rehypothecate your Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin isn't lent out to other people, and it's held in cold storage. You can even see the address where your Bitcoin is being held. And they also do a digital proof of reserves. The application takes just 2 minutes, and fiat is in your account in less than 6 hours. Loans start at just 12.4% with no credit checks. What's the downside? Well, you have to make sure that you stay on side with the right amount of leverage. Good thing for Ledn, they don't allow you to put over 50% loan to value on your loan. So if you want a $1,000 loan in fiat, you have to post $2,000 worth of Bitcoin collateral. It's over collateralized. Go to learn.ledn.io/simply to get started. All right, let's get back to the show. In the midst of all the bullishness about Bitcoin, you still have people out there that are going to lead you astray. They're going to say, well, don't invest into this new thing, invest into this old thing like gold. But When gold crashed 5.7% earlier this week, the largest crash that it's had since 2013, no one called gold too volatile. Silver crashed 9% on the same day. They both wiped out $3 trillion worth of value in a single 24-hour period. Yet no CNBC articles came out saying this is why we can't have people invest into gold and silver. Ironic. Peter Schiff, the loudest voice whenever Bitcoin goes down a few percentage points, didn't talk about that at all. Instead, he decided that he wanted to take the moment to promote a gold tokenized coin, the Schiff coin.
So you might as well just have tokenized gold and have something that's stable to the price of gold, because that's real stability, because gold will maintain its purchasing power. So ideally, the one thing that makes sense to put on a blockchain is gold, because it will work and it will do all the things that Bitcoin promises but can never do. You can use tokenized gold as a medium of exchange, as a unit of account, as a store of value. And I probably will. Look, I mean, I'm probably going to launch my own token at some point. I'm building out a platform on Shift Gold right now that people will be able to buy gold. In fact, they'll be able to buy. I don't want to start promoting it yet because I'm trying to get it all up and running.
Give a quick rundown.
No, but so you can buy gold at Shift Gold, right? On an app on your phone. We won't send you the actual gold. The gold will be stored in a vault that you own and you have it. And you'll be able to transfer ownership of that gold to other people, through the app. And you could use it, as a medium of exchange. You can pay or be paid in gold
instantly.
And you can redeem it in physical gold, or eventually you can redeem it in a token. I'm also going to give people a debit card where if they have $5,000 worth of gold or silver, and they take that debit card and they buy something for $10, $10 worth of gold will get sold to cover the transaction.
This dude was gassing up Peter deliberately and he didn't even notice. This is the dumbest idea of all time, and no gold coin that has ever been launched has ever worked. You don't have enough razors in the world to cut off $10 worth of gold from your gold bars. Gillette would sue you, and even though it's No Shave November coming up, the wives around the world would not have it. Secondly, who's buying $10 worth of gold? Nobody. Exchanges don't even let you buy $10 worth of gold because there's no way that they could possibly secure, sell, store, or manage a transaction that small in gold bullion. You're literally writing this on paper and you're building another trust me bro system. That will never work. It's the reason why we moved off a gold-backed system in 1971 in the first place. A gold-based system matched with a credit-based system does not align. Good for us. We have a real-time network that settles instantly, that's available and freely usable by anyone across the globe. That's being made even more available by these companies that are allowing you to use the Bitcoin rails via Lightning or Bitcoin on chain in just an API. And the good thing about Bitcoin is you can always verify that it's there. You don't have to trust somebody like Peter Schiff in Puerto Rico or the Cayman Islands to tell you that you own that amount of Bitcoin. And this is why we partner with the Bitcoin Way, to help people learn exactly how you can verify your Bitcoin for yourself, to protect your generational wealth, your sovereign wealth, the right way. Schedule a free 30-minute consultation with someone from the Bitcoin Way, an expert in custody, and not Peter Schiff. Go to thebitcoinway.com/simplybitcoin to get started.
And nobody can explain to me who Satoshi was, the creator of Bitcoin, this mysterious guy who apparently died, but nobody knows who he was. I grew up in DC primarily in a government family, so CIA. That's my guess, can't prove it, but you're telling me to invest in something whose founder is mysterious and has billions of dollars of unused Bitcoin. What is that? And no one can answer the question, including some of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Do I know personally? They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. What matters to me, right?
There's lots of FUD out there. People like Tucker Carlson say he won't buy Bitcoin because it's created by the CIA. Interesting. Unlike most things created by the government, Bitcoin, even if it was created by the CIA, which I highly doubt, can be audited. You can view the code for yourself. It's open source technology that anyone can refute and not choose to use if they don't want to. Therefore, it doesn't matter if the CIA created Bitcoin, which they didn't. The CIA doesn't deny the mathematical truth in the source code of Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be verified, and it's being woven into the entire fabric of the system. It's even being embedded into the culture of stars, celebrities, and NBA players like Ja Morant. Bitcoin will become a way of life, and it will be the backbone of the system. Even a Federal Reserve Chair Governor, Christopher Wallen, said this himself.
This is an acknowledgement that distributed ledgers and crypto assets are no longer on the fringes, but are increasingly woven into the fabric of the payment and financial system.
The choice is yours. Either you choose to believe in gold tokenized products, you choose to believe that we will continue chopping sideways or forever, or you can invest and invest confidently. It's up to you. But we know what we're doing here on this show. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. And if you haven't already gotten your tickets down to the Mining Disrupt Conference, it's coming up soon. It's happening from November 11th through November 13th in Dallas, Texas. The Mining Disrupt Conference, where you get to see the makers, the manufacturers, and the largest builders and protectors and keepers of the Bitcoin network in a single place. Oh, and the Simply Bitcoin crew. Get your tickets using the promo code Simply Bitcoin for 20% off. Like and share this show if you haven't already done so, and subscribe to the channel. Have a great weekend. We're out.